Hello old souls, welcome back to Granny Yoga. Today we have a gentle mat flow for you. So grab your yoga mat and maybe something cozy, comfy, cushy like a pillow, blanket, couch cushion. We'll be spending just a little bit of time on our knees and a little bit of time on our wrists today. So that extra cushy thing can help support those joints. If that doesn't work with your mobility, just go ahead and sit those parts out. I'll try to offer modifications, but if something in your body is telling you that it's painful or it's uncomfortable or it's not working for you, just sit back, keep going with those full body breaths, and then join us back when you're able. So grab something cozy, use what you got, wear what you have, and let's get started. Hello everyone. Go ahead, grab a blanket, a cushion, block, pillow, whatever you have on hand, and find yourself a nice, comfortable seat. So sometimes this crisscross is not really easy for everyone. If you have mobility or joint pain in your hips or your knees, if I sit here a long time, I can find that it's kind of uncomfortable for my bony little ankles, but you can always give yourself just a little bit more space. And the higher you're able to sit your hips up, the more relief you're gonna find in your low back. So you might need to elevate just a little bit more if that feels better for you. And whenever you're ready, whenever you're landed, just relax your hands on your knees and take a big breath in through the nose. Sigh it out. Amazing. One more. Just so good. Let's take one more. Make it the biggest one. Fully breathe that full body breath in through the nose, all the way to tip top. Sigh it out. Beautiful. I want you to just kind of soften through your face, unhook your jaw, let your tongue just rest right here on the roof of your mouth, and take those full body breaths in and out through the nose. And so as you're breathing in, think of sitting up nice and tall, kind of lifting the chest, lifting the heart. And then as you exhale, we want to relax the shoulders back and down. So we kind of create this loop with our breath. As we breathe in, we lift and expand through the front body, all the way up, lifting through the crown. And as we exhale, we kind of just relax our muscles and tissues around our bones, letting our shoulders melt down the back. And so somewhere between that lift and that release, you'll find that nice, tall, straight spine. One more big breath. Beautiful. Let's bring our fingertips out to the side. Right arm comes straight up, hip to wrist, hit the top of that inhale, big breath. And then as you exhale, let that hip stay nice and heavy and grounded and reach through those right fingertips. Take a full breath here, filling up that right lung and kind of pressing out, creating space between each little rib. And then we'll swing that right arm back down, left arm comes straight up and over, exhale. Notice that this opposite shoulder, we're not crunching it up towards our ears, we're creating space by dropping that shoulder down. Opening in the rib cage, one more breath. Beautiful, and let's do each side one more time. Straight up, exhale to release, to get a little view of my adorable little cat, Queenie, Queen. Queen is a Mr. Queen, straight up and over. We didn't know, we thought it was a girl for like 2 months when we got him. And turns out, Queenie has a weenie. Both arms straight up, big breath, and then come on down. Beautiful. So hands are gonna rest right here in front. We're gonna stretch out, reaching reaching, release the head forward. Soften through the jaw, relax the face. In through the nose, out through the nose. One more breath. Beautiful, and then gently walk yourself back up. Amazing. If you've got crumbs on your floor, you can wipe your hands off. And we're just gonna make our way here into a nice tabletop position. So you can use your blanket for your knees if you need that extra support. Yeah, I'm gonna stack my hips here over my knees. Both knees land about hip width apart. And then I'm gonna plant my hands, stacking my shoulders over my elbows, over my wrists. Beautiful. Kind of plant here through the tops of the feet. And I want us to find a neutral spine. So gaze is down at the mat. We're kind of reaching through the crown. Just a little core connection here in the belly. Beautiful. One big breath. And then let's try some cat-cow. So if you're new to yoga, cow is this big belly. Think big, heavy belly. You lift the chin, lift the heart. Let that belly get nice and heavy. Tailbone comes up. And we use our inhale to lift and expand here. And then as we exhale, we pull the belly button in towards the spine and kind of arch through the upper back body. Think angry cat. Exhaling all the way, letting the head be heavy. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, lift the heart. Exhale, release. Tuck the chin, pull that belly button up towards the spine. Beautiful. So take that little flow, following the pace of your breath. The motion is really powered by the breath, so you just kind of allow your body to follow along at your pace. Exhaling, tucking everything in. Inhaling, opening up and expanding. It's like a full warm-up for the whole length of your spine. One more, wherever you are, take your time, follow your breath. And we'll meet back together with that nice neutral flat back. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna tuck our toes under here and sit the hips back and just kind of come off of our wrists for a moment. So little bonus stretch in the back of our feet here, but if this doesn't work for you, you can just kind of come up on your knees, but we're gonna take our hands out to about like 30-degree angle. Make a fist, doesn't have to be clenching, just make a ball with your fingers and go ahead and rotate your wrists. Both directions. Beautiful. And so from here, take them back, pull them back. Let's open up a little bit of space here in the shoulders and then go ahead and rotate. You can feel that kind of radiating up through the forearm. Gorgeous. You can take it the other direction. Beautiful. And so as we're going to come back down to the mat, we're going to place our hands just a little bit wider. So as wide as our yoga mat this time. And my pointer finger is pointing straight ahead, right? And then you can notice that I'm not quite stacked shoulder over wrist here. I have a little bit more space. My toes are tucked under. And when you're ready, we're going to send those hips up high. First down dog. Could be your first down dog ever. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first down dog ever, will you please comment? Because I have to know. I have to know how it went for you. I love down dog. There's so much free movement you can notice. I'm just kind of like dropping my knees each one at a time. We call that pedaling it out, walking your dog, but just kind of giving an opportunity for the calves to open up, stretching through the hamstrings. And I'm nice and strong here through my hands, really pressing my hands away And then you want to let your head just kind of relax between your shoulders. So we're keeping some structure here. We're engaged with our hands and our shoulders, pressing away from the mat, but our head is nice and heavy. Beautiful. One more big breath. You can sigh it out. Excellent. And we're going to lower ourselves back down to our knees. So what we're going to do from here is I'm going to take my right foot and I'm just going to step it up, right? There's a lot of ways to come into this shape. Most commonly people come from down dog and they sweep their foot up. That can be a bit of a practice. I'll show you what I mean. It's kind of handy. So a lot of times when we're coming into this low lunge, we do a little three-legged dog, and then we step that foot up. So if you're capable here, if that's in your practice, why don't you do that? Why don't you come back into our down dog, lift that leg up nice and high, and then step that foot up between the hands. Now, since this is a promised gentle flow in Granny Yoga, I want to make it as accessible as I can for everyone. And probably about half the people in my classes can make that with their foot, and so that's their practice. And then others of us, it's like from tabletop position, you could just step that foot up. You can even come all the way out of it and step the foot, right? We're not going to be too particular about how we get here, but I want us to all meet with our knees stacked over our ankle, right? Right knee stacked over right ankle. You can use a couple blocks here if you want to elevate yourself up off the mat. That's awesome. I don't have blocks. Actually, I do. They have like bite marks all in them from when my babies were teething, and I'm like so sentimental I can't throw it away, but I also haven't bought new ones because I'm like, well, I have blocks, right? It's just crazy. Anyways, nice and strong here through the foot, and you can see I'm going to kind of pull my hips forward. Now my knee isn't going over my toes. I'm not doing this deep bend. I'm just kind of gently pulling my hips forward, getting this nice stretch in the front of the hip crease. Really strong here in this foot, and when you're ready, sweep those arms up. Beautiful. A little balancing practice. So if you're coming up into this crescent and you're feeling a little wobbly, that's okay. Take your time. Reaching through the fingertips, lift and expand, and then as you exhale, kind of open the shoulders. So same as when we were sitting, shoulders melt back and down. Beautiful. That's all. We're going to float the hands back down to the mat. This heel is going to stay exactly where it is, and I'm going to shift my hips back, pointing those toes up towards the ceiling. And then I'm going to point my forehead towards my knee, right? So your forehead may not get anywhere near your knee, but it's just the intention of pointing them at one another. In through the nose, out through the nose. This is a big stretch down the back of that right leg. So let's be patient here for a couple breaths. Give that muscle a chance to release and loosen up. Take one more breath. Maybe find your edge. Maybe you're able to sink your hips down a little farther. Maybe you need to just go ahead and transition out of it. That would be fine. We'll all kind of roll back up together. I'm going to plant my left hand here and stack my shoulders, reaching through those right fingertips. Maybe take your gaze with you. Big breath, big reach. Exhale, floats that hand back down. Beautiful. All right. We're going to pop up on those back toes, finding ourselves here in this high lunge, and then we're going to bring that foot, maybe in like 100 little baby mini steps, all the way up, 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 up. Left foot meets the right, forward fold. So feel free to give yourself a little generous bend in the knees here. It's our first forward fold of the practice. We're still kind of getting moving here, so we could feel a little stiff in the back of our legs or in our low back. Beautiful. Kind of drop those hips down to root through the heels, tuck the chin, and roll yourself all the way up, up, up. Nice and tall. Shoulders melt back and down. And take that big full body breath. Excellent. Beautiful. Alrighty. So we're going to come into the crescent on the other side, just a little bit different than the first time. So give yourself a little bend here in your knees. Sweep those arms up. Reach, touch your ceiling if you can. And exhale, come on down. This time as you're coming into your forward fold, maybe leave your knees straight, your legs straight, not locked. See, we're not hyperextending our knees. We're going to give ourselves a little micro bend here. Arms are nice and heavy. Now, if you cannot touch your toes, it's so okay. I was like here when I started practicing yoga, like 5 years ago maybe, and after 3 years I was like here, and it really wasn't until I was teaching a lot that I became more flexible. And so if you ever think, oh gosh, you know, I'm not flexible, yoga's not for me, well, that's how you get flexible, right? We practice. And flexible is honestly very, very relative. I cringe to even say it because that means something different for everybody's body. Okay, let's transition. Halfway lift. So I'm gonna drag my hands up. Maybe they're gonna land here on my thighs, and then I'm gonna reach through my crown. So nice figure 7 here in your body, creating that length between the crown to the tail. Exhale, float it back down. If you need to bend through the knees so that your hands will come to the mat, excellent, do that. Give yourself some space. And I'm gonna take that right foot and I'm gonna drag it back. And it's gonna land on my blanket, which is not exactly what I want. You can move or adjust your prop here. You can even get out of the way if you don't feel like you need it. Anyway, here we are. We're just kind of sweeping that right foot back. I'm gonna drop down on my knee. Remember, I'm gonna gently pull my hips forward a little bit. I wanna stretch through the front of that right leg. I'm gonna plant through the top of my foot. Nice and strong here in my base. And before I sweep my arms up, I'm just gonna gently pull that belly button in towards my spine. So our center, our core here, that is the axiom of our balance. So make that core connection, press through that front foot, sweep those arms up. Beautiful. Inhale has us reaching, reaching, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, open through the shoulders. Awesome. Sweep those hands down. We're using a lot of strength and control. So if you're struggling with this, it's okay. I'm gonna leave that heel right where it is. Send the hips back. Toes are gonna point up. Forehead drops towards your knee. Remember, we're gonna hang here for a few breaths. Oh my goodness. One more. Excellent. So we're gonna walk ourselves forward. Right hand plants next to that left foot. We're gonna open up, stacking through the shoulders. Inhale, create space. Maybe take your gaze with you. One big breath. And float that back down. Excellent. We're gonna, again, pop up on that back foot and step it forward. So maybe you can take one big step like this, but maybe you're just kind of like, ooh, it doesn't matter. I'll see you right here. Hip width apart, head is nice and heavy. You can bend through your knees if you need to use the floor for support. Inhale, halfway lift. Let's straighten through the legs. Nice flat back. And then exhale, come back down to your forward fold. And let's grab opposite elbows here. So again, not locking out the knees. And if your gaze is right down here at your mat, you have a little crunch in the back of your neck. So I want you to try your best to take the top of your head and let it just fall to the floor. Beautiful. So we're really using the weight of our upper body as leverage here to stretch through our low back and our hamstrings. Maybe take a little sway side to side. Notice how that shifts the stretch, shifts the sensation. Maybe you're just preferring stillness right now, and that's all good. Just do what feels right for you. Beautiful. Hands are going to release down to the floor. I'm going to give myself a nice, generous bend in my knees, and I'm going to come all the way down with control to my seat. And then from here, you can move your blanket, have your blanket. We're going to roll down onto our back, so maybe you would prefer to use it as a pillow. I'm just going to go ahead and set mine aside for now. Gently coming down all the way to your back. Let those feet be planted, knees bent, about hip width apart. Let the shoulders get nice and heavy. And take a couple full body breaths just to allow the muscles in the back to kind of settle in, melt into the mat. Beautiful. And then we're just going to take the knees side to side. We're going to windshield wiper our legs. And the seniors yoga that I teach, I talk more about that in the vlog as well. I teach at a local 55 and up community 3 times a week. We love windshield wipers. I think we're all convinced it's the secret to life. Such a nice little gentle rotation there in your low back. And sometimes we can really carry a lot of stress, whether you're like in chronic pain or you have anxiety or like emotional stress, but also physical stress in our back and hips. Some people kind of harbor it in their neck and shoulders. Some people are both. You know, it's all good. But coming into this gentle movement really helps us kind of check in and say, how am I feeling today? Does it feel a little tight and sticky? Does it feel tense? And it's so good to notice how you feel, so that as you practice and kind of come into your body on the mat, you can put a little extra love in any of those places that don't feel their best. Beautiful. Let's take our knees over to the right and just kind of let it hang there for a moment. Notice how that opposite hip, that left side, kind of pops up, and we get this little extra happy bonus stretch right in that lower quadrant of our back. Beautiful. Up and over. Let's take it to the other side. Left side, let it hang there nice and heavy. Take a breath. And if that opposite shoulder is kind of coming up, see if you can root that shoulder back down. We want the shoulders to be the root of the shape of this posture, so they're nice and heavy. Beautiful. We'll bring that up to center. Excellent. Gently kind of press down through your feet and feel your whole back body become flush with the mat here. And then we're going to reach our arms up over our head. And I love to hook my thumbs together when I'm doing this. And I'm just going to reach them up, reach through the fingertips. We're creating all this space in our shoulders and our side body. So use your breath here to lift up from the inside. Exhale. Beautiful. One more. Reaching through the fingertips. Beautiful. As you exhale, just gently pull those knees into your chest. So now that low part of your back, the sacrum, is nice and flush with the mat. Shoulders are down, we're not crunching up here. We want to give ourselves some space in the neck. Maybe you want to take a little rock side to side, nice massage over the length of the spine. Beautiful, everything comes to center. And then slowly but surely, roll over here onto your side and gently find yourself back in that nice tall seat. So if you had your hips elevated to start with, maybe you could grab that prop back. Or since we've kind of stretched out through our low back, hips and hamstrings, maybe it's a little bit more comfortable for you to just land here on the mat. So we won't be here for long. So much fun to get started this yoga journey with all of you. So thank you so much for coming. Yeah, let's take a big breath, big reach here. Take your gaze up as you reach through the fingertips. Watch as all 5 fingers kiss together, and then we're gonna just draw our hands right down here to the midline, right in front of the heart. Right? Maybe tuck your chin slightly, lengthening in the back of the neck. Shoulders are nice and heavy. Such a joy to gather and stretch and breathe together today. As we begin, wherever we are, we embrace it and we accept that no matter what comes ahead, we are in it together. The love and the light in me sees and honors the love and light in each and every one of you. Namaste.